What's up, film fans? Epic Film Guy Justin here. Tonight was a pretty big night. I saw Avengers Age of Ultron in IMAX 3D. I'm sure most of you have already seen it or are going to see it this weekend. It's a pretty big movie we've all been waiting for. It's definitely one for the ages. Now, got this pretty sweet poster, pretty rad t-shirt. Had a great time. And that's the first thing that I will bring up when it comes to Avengers Age of Ultron. I had a fun time. I laughed, I cheered, I clapped, I yelled and cheered for the characters. I had a really great time with this movie. Let's get that out of the way. It was fun. All the one-liners, all the awesome action sequences. This is what we've come to know of Marvel. We expect this Marvel formula, which leads me into another part of how I feel about this movie. As much as I really enjoyed Avengers Age of Ultron, and it was mostly a large portion of what I had expected out of this movie, the other portion that I expected out of this movie was just not there. Let's start off with Ultron, voiced amazingly by James Spader here. I mean, I could not love his performance as this character any more than I already do. As from what we've seen in the trailers, is supposed to be this menacing, really badass, awesome, threatening villain. And it starts out that way. I'm not going to go into spoilers because we don't do that here at Epic Film Guys, but for real, like that first sequence where we first meet him in his physical form, it's menacing, it's awesome, it's dark, and it goes into places that Marvel hasn't gone yet with their villains. The only issue is that about not even, maybe halfway through the movie, after we see Iron Man and Ultron duke it out a little bit, which in my opinion wasn't as great as it could have been, he's kind of not even in the movie. He's kind of just not there. The Avengers don't even act like Ultron is a real threat to them or to the world. I mean, we all know as the audience that he is, but in the trailers they kept hyping up Ultron. He's such a serious threat. They're all very scared, and there's nothing else they can do but just worry about how they're going to handle this threat. And he's not even existent through most of the movie. I mean, he's there in the awesome action sequences. He's there when he needs to be, but that's my issue. I was hoping for a little bit more development with the villain. Now, me and Nick agree on this. We see eye to eye on the issue with developing the villain, but I'm only going to be doing 5-minute reviews for these movies, so I can't blab forever. But Ultron for me was overall a letdown. As far as how Spader handled the character, how he looked, how he moved, all of the physical aspects of the character I loved. Seeing him in fight scenes was cool, but overall I think he was a pretty two-dimensional villain. And that's pretty unfortunate for me, because this was the one that I was hoping would break the mold for Marvel and really get past that two-dimensional, throwaway, paper-thin, generic villain that we all see in all these movies, and I've seen in most of the last couple Marvel movies. But I'll get past that. That's the main issue I have with the movie. We see some great character development for all of the heroes. Cap, again, getting great development in this. Great development for Stark, and we're seeing development for Black Widow and Bruce Banner. I really love the love story thing they had going on. Really developing those two storylines together. And finally we get Hawkeye to get development. I know Renner complained that he didn't have any in the first one, but finally some Hawkeye development, which leads me to the death at the end. No spoilers, but the death at the end is lackluster because the two brand new villains slash heroes, two new characters you bring into the movie have zero to little development. Like a few lines here and there, though I won't lie, I loved Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. They were fantastic. Visually, everything about this movie was stunning. The action sequences were great. A lot of it was paint by numbers. I think a lot of it felt like stuff we've seen before, especially the ending battle. A little lackluster. We've seen them fighting robot-type things before, but overall, some really impressive stuff we've seen here. Because I don't have much time, and this is a quick review, I'm going to give Avengers Age of Ultron a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, that 0.5. I enjoyed it. Let's hear what you think. Comment on the video.